PNC Bank's Cash Rewards card is one of those very solid cashback credit cards that just really isn't talked about. It gives you some great rewards on gas and dining, and it has one of the best cashback bonuses that you're going to see from any other cashback credit card. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down PNC Bank's Cash Rewards Visa card into 5 different categories, giving a star rating to each one of those categories, and then at the end of this video, I'm going to give this card an overall rating out of 5 stars. And this card has been significantly buffed since it came out. But before we get into it, make sure you like this video if you think the moon landing was fake. Alright, so the first thing that you need to know about this card is it does come from PNC Bank, obviously, and if you're not familiar with PNC Bank, they're a little bit smaller and less known than the big banks like Citi and Bank of America, but they're still pretty solid. I do like their credit cards, and I think they're a very good bank overall. And to apply online, you do have to have a bank account with PNC Bank. And you need at least good credit, so 670 credit score to get this card, but I'd recommend a credit score of 690 just to be safe. Also, this credit card does come with a 0 annual fee, which is always something that you want to see with a cashback credit card. Now, if we go ahead and look at the sign-up bonus that comes with this card, it's one of the highest sign-up bonus that you're going to see with cashback credit cards. Usually the top of the line is $200, that's what you're going to see for most of the cashback credit cards from Citi and from Chase. But this card's going to give you $250. Now, this was recently just bumped up from $200, and I really hope it stays here because this is a really good sign-up bonus. And all you have to do to get this $250 sign-up bonus is spend $1,000 within the first 3 months of opening up this card. So for the sign-up bonus category, I'm going to give it an easy 5 out of 5 stars. If you open up this card, hit it, and then close it back down, and then you try to open it up again, you're going to have to wait 24 months in order to get that sign-up bonus again. If we go on over and look at the statement credits and benefits that come with this card, it has some really good benefits. The first and my personal favorite is $800 of cell phone protection. So if your phone is stolen or damaged, as long as you're paying your cell phone bill with this card, you're going to get $800 worth of protection. And all you're going to have to do is pay a $50 deductible, and you can get 2 of these per year. And if you're really clumsy like me and you're always breaking your phone, I think you can see my phone right here. It's all shattered right now. So I should probably get this card and put my cell phone on it. But it's going to be very nice having that peace of mind, and you're not going to have to pay that expensive cell phone insurance. You're also going to get 0 APR on balance transfers for the first 15 months. If you do this within the first 3 months, you're only going to have to pay a 4% balance transfer fee. Now, if you're not familiar with how a balance transfer works, if you have another credit card that you're paying a lot of interest on, you can take the amount you owe from that card, transfer it over to this card, and then not have to pay any interest for the first 15 months. You will have to pay that balance transfer fee, but as long as you can pay it off by the end of those 15 months, it's definitely going to be worth it. You're also going to get 0 fraud or liability like you are going to get with most other credit cards, so if someone steals your credit card information and puts a bunch of charges on it, you're not going to be liable to pay that. I really do like the benefits that come with this card. It's not loaded with a whole bunch of them, but that cell phone protection and that 0 APR and balance transfers is going to be 2 very solid benefits. So for this category, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. But let's talk about why we're all here, which is the rewards that come with this credit card. And if you're Team Cashback, this card can knock out 2 of your biggest spending categories. The first is gas stations, and it's going to give you 4% back on gas stations, and this is a Visa card, so it's going to work with Costco gas. It's also going to give you 3% on all your dining, and then 2% on your groceries. Now, that 2% on groceries isn't great because there's a lot of other credit cards where you can get a lot higher rewards than that. And you might want to consider that because groceries is a lot of people's biggest spending category. But that 3% back on restaurants is pretty good if you don't have another card that'll give you higher than that, and then that 4% on gas is also very good. And the reason that I like this card for gas more than other credit cards is because it has an $8,000 annual limit. Now, if you go over that $8,000, it's going to bump down to just 1%, and that $8,000 is for all 3 of these categories combined. While a card like the Citi Custom Cash is capped at $500 a month or $6,000 a year. So depending on how much you're spending on these categories and what you want to use this credit card for, this might make sense for you. If you are spending a lot of money on gas, then you can use this as your dedicated gas card and you're probably not going to go over that limit. And this card will obviously give you 1% back on every single one of your purchases, which is pretty standard with all credit cards. So for the rewards category, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. And this is all going to redeem at 1 cent per point, which is standard for cashback credit cards. Now, if we take a quick look at the design of this card, it's going to be a kind of ugly green card. Maybe they were going for the cash look, but to be honest with you, it looks suspiciously like the recycling sign that you see. So for the design of this card, I'm going to give it 1 out of 5 stars. Now, before I give you my final verdict on this card, let me give you some quick pros and cons. For some of the pros, you're getting a lot of cash back on your gas purchases as well as your dining. This card also has no annual fee, and I do really like the benefits that come with this card, like that 0 APR on balance transfers and that cell phone protection. Some of the cons for this card is I believe that you have to be in one of those 28 states that have branch locations. Again, I'm a little bit frustrated because they don't specifically state who's eligible to get this card on their their website. Another con is you're only getting 2% back on groceries, and if this card just had 3% back on groceries, it'd be really, really good. There's also that $8,000 limit, which is pretty high, but if you are a heavy spender, especially on dining and gas, then you might be going over that. Another con is that there's no redemption offer for travel, but this is a cashback card. It's in the name of the card itself, so if you're watching this, you're probably not here for the travel. Also, there is a 3% foreign transaction fee that comes with this credit card, so definitely not a card that you should be using overseas. But overall, I think this is still a very solid cashback credit card, especially if you bank with PNC Bank. And one thing that I forgot to mention in the pros, which is great, is that $250 sign-up bonus, so that's just going to top off all the other cashback credit cards. And overall, I'm going to give this card 4 out of 5 stars.